they had clipboards. So those were real estate agents going around telling people, you better sell while you
Blockbusting. That's called
yeah,
blockbusting.
yeah. And so it's just like, and then, then I guess gangs started coming in to try to protect one another from stuff that was going on. And they helped usher out the rest of the white people, and it was all black. And then we start fighting each other. But the Mexicans that were coming into our community, we were cool with them because we were on the same level. We were all struggling together and trying to make it together. And they started setting up sting operations. Before they set up the sting operations, they started erecting prisons all in our community. They put one up in Compton and another one, I think it was Southgate. And after that was set up, then they came up with the 3 strike laws. And my friend Rick got pulled over for a joint behind his ear. That was 1 strike. And another strike, he had marijuana in his glove compartment when they pulled him over. And the 3rd strike, they put a Cadillac in front of these guys that were sitting on the porch talking, and a brand new Cadillac pulled in front of them. And they opened the doors, and a white man and a white lady walked around the block and left the car running. And the guys were just like looking at like, what's going on? They just sitting up there, they never came back later. One of the guys looked over and said, hey man, this is a brand new Caddy. You can still smell the leathers, come here, check this out. And they're like looking at the car, and they didn't take off with the car. So it was like 45 minutes past. And then all of a sudden, boom, all these police cars came in and helicopters and all of that. And they had him on the ground. And so Rick went to jail for the 3rd time, and they were trying to put him in prison for life, 3 strikes. So they built up all these prisons. So now you got free labor again, because you're free unless you are a prisoner, and then, you can be used as a slave. So all this stuff is happening. And so then the Muslims start going into the jails and working with these black people, saying, they're putting guns in our community. They're trying to do all this, trying to make us go to jail. We got to stop this. Let me tell you guys what's really going on. And so the Crips and the Pyrus, and now they call them the Bloods, they stopped fighting. So there's no more reason to incarcerate anybody because nobody was fighting. The drugs stopped. And then my friend Lavelle got shot by a drive-by. These police started driving around in unmarked cars with brown bandanas and dark glasses, looking like gangsters, and they were going around shooting black people. So black people thinking the Mexicans are attacking them, and now the Mexicans and the blacks are feuding, back to jail. Here we go. This is a mess.
Wow. But you named some things that are all systemic. So the first thing you talked about was moving into this neighborhood. That was the Great Migration, right? So moving into these neighborhoods. And then you talk about white flight, white people moving out. That's white flight. And then you talked about urban decay, how all the economies, they bankrupt the economy. So now the stores are gone. Now you're starting to see, the blight that's going on in the neighborhoods. And because again, they're food deserts, and now these are looking like war zones. And then you have COINTELPRO who comes in, or the CIA will say, comes in, dropping these guns and these drugs off into these neighborhoods. So now we don't got to lynch you. The Red Summer of 1919, where we was lynching people all over the place, y'all lynching yourselves.